students, today we will learn about cascading style sheets. In the previous class, we learned about HTML. We learned that HTML is a markup language. A markup language makes use of tags. These tags tell the browser how to display content. We have learnt about different tags and their usage. In this chapter, we will learn about CSS, cascading style sheets. Just like HTML, CSS is not a programming language. In fact, it is not even a markup language. CSS is a style sheet language that is used for styling the HTML tags. In simple words, it is a language that is used to add better functionality to the HTML tags. CSS is useful when we want to add similar styling to all the web pages of a website, like we may want all the pages to have the same font style and background color. To perform this task, all that we have to do is define the font style and background color in a CSS style sheet with CSS code and call the style sheet in all the web pages. For more clarity, you can think of your art and craft teacher giving you instruction for creating a paper model using a specific paper type and a specific color. All the students will create the model using the instructions laid down by the teacher. CSS is widely used with HTML, JavaScript, and other scripting languages. Let's now quickly learn about some benefits of CSS. Let us first talk about advantages of using CSS code. CSS saves time. With CSS, we can define a style for a tag only once. After that, we can use the tag anywhere in the web page, and the styling will be done accordingly without any further codes to be written. Pages load faster. As CSS code needs to be written once, it means the actual code a browser has to work on is less. Less code means the page will download at a faster pace. Easy maintenance. Maintaining a website using CSS is also convenient, as all that we have to do is make changes in the style sheet itself if we want to change the styling of a particular component in a website. Superior styles to HTML. While CSS was built for ease of styling a web page, HTML was not built with the same intention. While browsers usually display HTML elements in a certain way, you can change this with CSS. Before we learn how to write CSS code, let's take a look at the code. Some part of the above given code may look similar to you. In the above code, we can see some lines of HTML code. The code enclosed within the curly braces is the CSS code. Okay students, now we will talk about CSS syntax. Just like all other languages, CSS also has its own syntax. In the past, we have learned that syntax is the set rules that are followed while writing code in a specific language. CSS elements. A CSS code consists of three important tags: the selector, property, and the values. Selector. A selector is any HTML element that needs to be styled. Tags like p, h1, title, etc. can be formatted using CSS. Property. CSS properties are like HTML attributes. We have learnt about attributes in the previous class. Attributes are used to change how an HTML tag renders the output. For example, color, size, border, height, weight are all examples of attributes. Values are assigned to CSS properties. In the above example, value yellow is assigned to color property. Let's write our first code with CSS. The following code is used to change the background color of a paragraph. Let's walk through the code. Line 4. The CSS code is enclosed within style and style tag. Line 5. H2 and P are the selectors. Line 6. Background color is the property, and hash 40 a 369 is the values of the property. Line 11. The style defined above will apply to this line as it is using the H2 tag. Line 12 to 14. Line 11. The style defined above will apply to these lines as it is using the P and H2 tags. To preview the output of the page, save the file first, click on the Tools tab, and then click on the Test with Default Browser option. CSS font. This property is used to change the font style of the text. There are 3 different formats that can be used to change the font style in CSS. By simply typing the name of a color as a value. You can also use predefined hexadecimal values for color using the RGB color code. Let's now learn to change the size of font and colors of different headings. The following code displays 3 different ways of changing font style. Let's walk through the code. Line 6. The font size property is used to define the size of the font. Line 8. The color of the H1 selector is set to green. This means that a text that uses the H1 tag will have a green color. Line 9. The color of H2 selector is set to 064 at 5. This means that text that uses the H2 tag then it will have the 064 at 5 color. Line 10. The color of H3 selector is set to RGB code 0 to 20,98. This means that text that uses H3 tag then it will be of the RGB code 0 to 20,98 color. In case you are not sure about the color code, you can browse the following link: https://html-color-codes info. CSS font face. This property is used to change the font face of the text. The values of this property are separated through commas, as this property can hold multiple font names. There are 2 types of font family names in CSS, which are defined below. Family name. it is the name of the font family such as Courier, Arial, Times, etc. Generic family, it is the name of the generic family that includes 5 categories, which are serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, and monospace. It should be placed at last in the list of the font family names. The following code shows how font family property can be used to define font style for the text. Let's walk through the code. Line 6, the text line center is used to align the text on a web page. Line 9 to 10, the font family property is used to set text font face to and text color to green. Line 14 to 15, the font family property is used to set text font face to and text color to red. Adding background image with CSS. Images play a significant role in making a web page look good. Images enhance the appearance of a web page, and it helps our audience understand the concept in a better way. There are times when we want to place a beautiful background image on the web page. To add a background image to the web page, we can use the background image property. Syntax: background image, URL, image name. Let's walk through the code. Line 6, the value of background image property sets back.jpg as a web page background. Line 7, the background repeat property with value repeatx repeats the image horizontally only. This is useful when the image is a little short in size and does not cover the whole page. CSS lists. A list is a wonderful tool that helps in organizing data. The list can be ordered or unordered. An ordered list displays the list items arranged in an ordered manner, and the unordered list displays the list items in an unordered form. The CSS properties to style the lists are given below. List style type. This property is responsible for controlling the appearance and shape of the bullet. List style image. It sets an image for the bullet instead of the number or a bullet point. List style position. It specifies the position of the bullet. List style. It is the shorthand property of all the above properties. Let's walk through the code. Line 7. The list style type property is used to show all the list items preceded with a numeric value and a dot. Line 10. The list style type property is used to show all the list items preceded with a number and a disk symbol. CSS tables. Tables help us present the data in an organized form. In the previous chapter, we learned how to create tables in HTML. In this chapter, let's learn how we can improve the appearance of a table using CSS. Some CSS properties are widely used in designing table using CSS. Border, border collapse, text line, color, background color, padding, width, height. Let's walk through the code. Line 6, table, eth and td are the selectors. Line 7, the border property with value 1px solid black will be applied to the table, eth and td. If you want to have single line border, for all the selectors, use border collapse property. Okay, now let us learn about CSS table padding. Let's walk through the code. Line 10, the styling will be applied to the eth and td selectors. Line 11, the padding property with 10px value will create a space of 10px between the table cell and the value. Let us quickly have a look on chapter review. CSS is a style sheet language that is used for styling the HTML tags. CSS is widely used with HTML, JavaScript, and other scripting languages. With CSS, you need to define a style for a tag only once. Syntax is the set rules that are followed while writing code in a specific language. A selector is any HTML element that needs to be styled. CSS properties are like HTML attributes. CSS font face property is used to change the font face of the text. The list style type property is responsible for controlling the appearance and shape of the bullet. The list style position specifies the position of the bullet in a list.